Welcome to Hear From Where, a podcast about the journeys that shape us. I'm your host, Chef Andrew Garrett, and each week I'll sit down with incredible individuals who've carved their own paths in health, nutrition, entrepreneurship, sports, and beyond. This is where we dive deep into the stories of determination, resilience, and passion, the moments that brought them here, from where they started. Whether you're looking for inspiration, a spark to start your own journey, or just love hearing amazing stories, then you're in the right place. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's explore what it really takes to follow your dreams. Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Hear From Where. I am Chef Andrew Garrett, and today my guest is Gunnar Allen, the founder, creator, CEO, CFO, COO, master hunter behind Ghost Bull Hunting, a gear company here in Oregon that is changing the game and kind of challenging what is the norm for hunting gear and equipment, which is awesome. I'm really excited to have you here, Gunnar. Thank you so much for joining me. Where are you at? Let's talk about where you located. Let's start there.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. It's an honor to be here. Appreciate you having me. And I'm smack dab right here in the most northwestern corner of Oregon in Astoria, Oregon, 17 miles from the mighty Columbia River Bar.
So, fantastic. Now, how long have you been in Astoria?
55 years, born and raised. Never found it necessary to move anywhere else. Although Wyoming, Montana's calling my name, but your home is where the heart is. And yeah, born and raised here. I love every bit of it. It has everything I want and need. So
I cannot agree more. I hunt the North Coast myself, and there is nothing much better about Oregon than the North Coast. It's one of those places. It's wet, it's cold, but the animals are thick as the brush, and it is a beautiful place to be. So yes. Tell me about your hunting career. Like, how long have you been hunting?
Well, the old man, my dad, he was a hunter in his family. His dad died at an early age, and he had the old Winchester Pre-64 Model 70, so he's a Winchester man. And here it was an .6 back then until he read about Jack O'Connor, and Jack O'Connor was his hero after his dad died. And boy, he shot that 270 ever since. And he was a hunter, and he's always taken us boys, even when we could start walking, and mostly just truck rides and whatnot. But God, he'd kill a deer. To all my recollections, I mean, we missed Halloween on many occasions for getting that deer out because he killed it right before dark. So got it from my old man, and been stomping around the woods with him since age 3.
That's awesome. I think that it's one thing that we really have kind of lost in the main cities and main societal points in America is people understanding what the outdoors really means. And I mean, and to a point, for me, it's kind of a win-win. It's a win-win, a lose-win, because it keeps the wilderness kind of open and wild for a lot of us. But I think that it's really kind of detrimental as folks don't have the opportunity to go out there and enjoy the woods like we do. And so I'm hopeful that more folks start to get out into the woods and are respectful of them, but we'll see. So you grew up in Astoria. You have been hunting your entire life. What was it like growing up in Astoria? Like as a young kid, like what kind of trouble did you guys get into? I mean, I imagine it's similar to my small town bringing up. What was it like growing up there?
It was great, the absolute perfect pace, and everything was work-based. I mean, after school, we had an old tree farm, my grandfather's old homestead, and that was a huge part of our lives. So he had 640 acres, full section, and downsized to 60. So my twin brother Gary and I set foot on that property our first day home out of the hospital, and was there through 2014, until my dad sold the place. But that was a big part of our growing up, running free in the woods, learning and living and chasing cricks, finding out where they began and where they ended, and spilled into a larger waterway, all the above, exploring. Makes me wonder how in the hell many sheds I stepped over all through all those years, because dad wasn't a real shed hunter, didn't pay attention to it. But you know, growing up there, it was a perfect pace, and learning to work on that tree farm. I mean, packing firewood out of skunk cabbage out of creek bottoms there, taller than I, and just the old man had us work, and that was what he built: work ethic and hunting. And it's all about the outdoors, fishing, hunting, everything, and work. Work first, play later, and hunting was our play. And then growing up, teen years, girls and beer, yeah, that's what ruins a guy. But nonetheless, hunting's always been there, and the woods, the mountains, and yeah, just great way, absolute great place to grow up. Very blessed. Couldn't be more thankful, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Well, I love that you hit on chasing creeks, because I grew up on a small farm myself, and chasing creeks is something that is, there's nothing else like it. And especially as a kid, and for folks that don't know or haven't ever spent time just like walking up or down a creek, there is nothing more magical to a 10 to 16-year-old boy than walking up and down this creek, skipping across rocks, finding the deep spots, looking at the fish, catching crawfish, and it's a magical time. And that's something that I think also is so cool, is that you were able, like, you were thrown into the workforce, whether it was paid labor or just, this is family labor, this is what we do. Yep. Like you started learning a real work ethic from a young age, and I think that as folks that grow up in farms, in farming worlds, in timber worlds, like, that's huge, because that work ethic is going to translate into whatever career path you choose to go into. Now, working on a tree farm, what's your career been like? What's your career trajectory been? I mean, you're a country boy, you're out there in the woods. Is it something that's wrapped around the wilderness, around the outdoors? What have you been up to?
Well, we didn't have the support back in school like the kids nowadays have, guidance counselors or career counselors, all that good fun stuff. And, I cared more about hunting and getting the hell out in the woods. So I got good grades, but not straight A's. And, they always looked at that. Oh, you're not a college bound guy. You better stick with logging and, small town mill work or whatnot. So I didn't really have a clear cut path. So we did start out in mills right out of high school, and it was great. The camaraderie, giving each other shit all night long, because we worked graveyard, the tough shift, and went straight to hunting as soon as we got off work, or fishing, whatever season was open, and lived right, survived, didn't die, but we gave it hell, let me tell you what. And mill work, honestly, not much of a future when that spotted owl came out, and the environmentalists freaked out. So that kind of put a clamp on things, and started, meeting more people, networking. I loved music. Grew my hair down to my ass. Played heavy metal guitar, and went to Musicians Institute down in Hollywood, California, and made her back in time for hunting season. I didn't miss hunting season, let me tell you what. But music was a pipe dream, and whatever, you get passionate about things, and they change, but the one constant has always been hunting and the great outdoors. So coming back, I knocked my high school sweetheart up, and her dad was going to kill me. He was a walking boss longshoreman, and if I didn't get a real job, so went back to the mill and started looking seriously at what in the heck am I going to do with the rest of my life and support this child. So a friend of mine turned me on to tugboating. Yeah, he had quads, snowmobiles, jet skis, house, big lifted trucks, cars, you name it. And I'm like, what in the hell do you do for a living? And he goes, I'm a towboater. Well, how do I do that? And he told me, and I went down to the office and bugged the hell out of those Evart Smith and Royce Hills down at Napton, or Bricks. It was Bricks back then, later changing to Foss. And they said, yeah, go get an AB ticket. And what the hell's an AB ticket? So had a buddy just join this local maritime program. And, I'm like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm signing on to cut that hair and been in the maritime industry ever since. It pays a hell of a lot more than working in a mill, let me tell you.
That's amazing. I had no idea. So my uncle is also a tugboater. He was in the Coast Guard, but he did he ran tugs on the San Francisco Bay.
Wow.
And so like I know how like I don't think that folks really know how hard that work is. Like it might seem like, oh, someone's just up there captaining this boat and you're just dragging a barge, or you're just helping put something in place. Like there is so much that happens. Like there is so much responsibility attached to that tugboat. I mean, there are lives at stake every day. Y'all get on that vessel, right? Like there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. What do they say? It's hours and hours of sheer boredom, punctuated by seconds of sheer terror. I mean, you deal with some serious weather. Truthfully, the hardest part is being gone, missing family, missing that tree farm, missing that little boy growing up, missing hunting season. And, that's truly the toughest part. But yeah, it's hard work. I mean, there's rigging, there's always vessel maintenance. You got each other's lives in your hands. There is no off time till you're off that damn boat. You're done with your hitch, and, hitches are all different for different companies. And 60-day hitches, that's a long time to be on a boat. Let me tell you what, and thank God they've made them more family friendly. And I've put elk to bed the night before the season, and dispatch called and had to be on the boat by 0700 the next morning, and missed hunting season, and that hurt bad. And being away from the farm, not being able to help, being very family oriented, that made it hard too. And finally met the right gal, and she didn't want me gone, and this teaching job popped up. So I actually teach. I'm an instructor, a chief mate at this local maritime program that I went to. And we get kids on tugboats and ships all over the world for all the biggest companies you can think of. But it's a great, strong industry. I'm proud to be a part of it, still in this capacity, but sure is nice to watch my girl grow up, stay married, and never miss hunting season ever again.
That's the goal, right? Like that's the dream. I mean, that's what I'm working towards in my career path. Is I want to get to the point where September I work a little bit, but at least I get a good month of archery season before I have to go to work. And it's really like work if I want to, and then have all of October and November to just go chase blacktails. So growing up in Oregon, what is your favorite game to chase in the woods? Like what's your favorite? Is it elk, blacktail, bears? What do you really what really drives you crazy?
God, that they are neck and neck. I mean, blacktails are king, and Roosevelt bulls are just king of the jungle. I mean, they are. I love them both. That blacktail, over the counter, general season, it's a month long, and you get to do our elk homework and keep an eye on how they're moving, where they're at, the pressure, what it's doing to them, and, hopefully harvest a tank of a buck. Not so easy, not as easy as everyone thinks, passing up lots of dinks, conservation, right? Save them for seed, like my dad taught me. And, elk, I'm after something different. I'm not a trophy hunter per se, but I pass up a lot of rag bulls, and we're in areas where there's no one else but me and the elk. So I'm after a goal of a monster blacktail and a monster ghost bull elk. I mean, and that's what they are. They're big. They're both ghosts, and a little harder to hunt than the average animal. Let me tell you what. And with a month for blacktail, that's beautiful. And with only 7 days for elk, that just simply is not enough time after they've had all the bow pressure, all the deer season pressure from people driving in to open gates, and then first season rifle pressure. They're even harder to hunt. And, truthfully, 7 days isn't enough. You're hunting track first and foremost. you're not seeing them in clear cuts. They're hiding good, and you got to hunt a lot harder and a lot different. And the wind's your biggest enemy. That's I love it both. I can't choose one.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm the same way. I've been here almost 20 years, and I grew up hunting black-tailed deer in California, and it was a little bit different hunting than it is here, especially in the northern Oregon coast. Like, what do you think makes the northern Oregon coast? What's your Why do you think the Oregon coast is such a special place to hunt? What is it to you that makes it so special? Besides, that's where you grew up, that's home, but I think that there's more to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the terrain's always different. The cover's different. It's ever changing due to all the logging or change of hands of timber companies. But ultimately, I just can't get away from knowing this land like the back of my hand. I mean, I could walk through it blindfolded, and that's not bragging. I just know the lay of the land, and I know how the animals move. And that doesn't give me the upper hand. They always have the upper hand, contrary to what PETA thinks. But yeah, that's what they do. They live and survive and eat and breed. And we're lucky enough to get to hunt them. But I just I'm so damn stubborn. I look forward to expanding horizons and hunting other places when we grow. But for right now, I just can't leave this place. It is special, and it has so much meaning. I mean, I'm hunting areas that my dad took me when I was a little boy, and that he can't walk anymore. And my grandpa was there in those places too. So the reflection and the memories that come from being in those places, and some of them I'm only there once a year because we don't touch it. We leave it untouched, so there's zero pressure in there for them animals, and especially black-tailed bucks. So just being there and just remembering all those memories just come crashing in, and it makes you feel like a kid again. It keeps one young. It's pure peace, joy, and freedom. Money can't buy that. So that's what truly makes it special to me.
That's awesome. I absolutely hearing that it gives me goosebumps because those are the kind of things that I think get passed over a lot in conversations about hunting, is especially hunting areas that you've been in for your entire life, and like having that generational experience and those memories and those feelings in the woods is pretty darn magical. For me, it's like food is one of those things where, when I eat something, like if I eat a really good clam chowder, it takes me right back to my grandma's table. Right. Like if I have a really good, like brown gravy and fried chicken and biscuits, I'm right back at grandma's table. Like those things remind me of that. And I love that the woods are similar for you. Uh, yeah, the Oregon coast is a very special place. And I don't think people realize how wet it is. Like even in September, when we're out there in the archery season, like I thought for sure when I started archery hunting, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do warm weather. I'll have warm weather gear. It's light. I don't have to worry about rain. I get wetter during archery season than I do when I take my buddies out for first rifle or second rifle. Like, what has it been like? Well, let's just go ahead and just go right into it, because I think this is a good segue into ghost bull hunting. Is you started your company because of the Oregon coast weather and cover and thickness. So tell me about ghost bull hunting. Like how did that come about?
Well, that old tree farm, again, is truly where it all started back in 2006. We had a gravity fed dam a mile away from the cabin, which, PVC pipe draining water down into a holding tank, and that fed the farm. That's all our water. It's our waterworks. And excuse me, I'm the number one son, so the old man put me in charge of that, and I've taken care of it, forever. So trudging up that trail and through all seasons, and it didn't matter. It always needed to be dug out because though the dam wasn't on our property, we were grandfathered in. We had water rights from the neighboring timber company, and they honored that, and they were great neighbors. Always worked with us, and that dam is always silting in, so you got a sump and a suction. I've always got to hike in there and dig it out. heavy rains push silt in. Warmer, hot summer weather, the pond drains, but silt's still coming in ever. It's a natural stream, so always digging that out. Well, being younger, I didn't mind hiking in waders and then digging it out and then hiking back out, changing and grabbing the tools to clear the trail. Well, I got a little smarter as I got older, and I went in with waders and all them tools. Hell with it, we're doing it all in one fell swoop, and you know, going through all them stickers, big windstorms, not zipping up blowdown and throwing limbs and, brushing up against limb stobs that tear gear up. Nothing really tore my gear. And I was just wearing, first I was using good old Sims, but then I thought I better buy some sacrificial lamb gear. So we got some cheap old Hodgmans for $69.95 and they worked, and I'm thinking, damn, this would make some good hunting gear. Why hasn't anyone done this yet? You know, uh, so the wheel started turning, and lo and behold, 2007 comes. Here comes Sitka. It was already in the works, and yeah, they obviously they did it and revolutionized our hunting. Truthfully, and I got some Sitka. We had this guy out from Minnesota there, Minnesota Tim Lazinski. He was like the president in his chapter for Rocky Mountain Elk and Foundation. And he said, Gunnar, you crazy little shit ass. The way you hunt, you need some different gear. Try some of this. And he got me some of that Sitka. And I tried it. It worked great. It was comparable to what, I'd been wearing for waders. But punching through brush over a period of time, now it's all pinholed and leaking like a sieve. And the camo pattern, it was that open country, real browns and tans. It didn't match our green geography. So I go, I can do better than this. So that got the wheels turning. But, I was too damn much of a drunk. I ain't going to lie to you. To do anything about it. And, again, talk is cheap. You can think it, but until you take action, nothing gets done. And, Sitka, Kuyu came along, wore all that stuff. But it just did not last for my style of hunting. And I just was with me the whole time. I've got to do something about this. I've got to do something about this. But never did until, I got my head out of my ass and quit drinking in 2016. And then I went to work and we've been hard at it ever since. And, I'll tell you what, built something here that truly does its job. I am never going back to rubber rain gear again. Sure, it works. It keeps you dry until you sweat your balls off. And then, Filson tin pants, they're so loud and cumbersome. And, after hiking miles, your hips it's just grinding. You don't have the flex of fabric and it's cumbersome. It just wears on you. And, not to sound like a wimp, but just not conducive to ghosting around the thick stuff there, especially when an alder branch hits your tin pants while you're approaching an animal. The whack, then, it's that hunt, that stock's blown. So, yeah, we did something better and proud to bring hunters a better option for hunting this type of terrain, even in Alaska, too. So, that's why we're here.
So I'm really excited because I have seen your products. I have touched your products, but I've never met you. So, we've been in the same places, we've been in the same buildings. And now I'm just like, once I started hearing more about your story and why you started doing this, entrepreneurship is such a cool thing because it's recognizing that there's a problem. Like there's
Yeah.
What's the problem? The problem is that this existing gear is not ideal for our area, right? Like it's not ideal for the type of hunting that we're doing. So how do we make it better? And then you went out there and you're like, you know what? I'm going to make it better. And this is like, to me, it's even more mind blowing because you're coming from a logging to tugboating, and now you're developing gears. So like, how's the transition for you been going from tugboating to, being a gear manufacturer? Where you guys, how did that happen?
Well, again, when it started way back then, that idea, and then sobering up and pursuing it, Jason Hairston, a trailblazer, he always had blogs and whatnot and asked hunters for input and, product ideas and whatnot, what they thought. So I caught on to that and thought a lot about that, found that very useful, all that information, that helped a lot. And then even, they talk to you, the core people there back at Kuyu back in the day, like Regina Fish, Mike, oh gosh, Michael Lanning, all these people, Tim Ruiz, yeah, they would, they'd treat you like family and they'd love your ideas and felt like part of the crew, but begged for a job, but yeah, they weren't hiring. So we had to do something different. I knew I was on my own. Went to the local community college there in that SBDC and SBA programs. They started, working with them, trying to, figure out that path, how I need to do it. And then my business advisor, Jessica, she turned me on to this gal named Ty Haney, who built Outdoor Voices. It was on that Guy Raz, How I Built This podcast. And I listened to that son of a bitch over and over and over. And I mean, there were so many freaking takeaways from that. I got to give that Ty Haney gal some serious credit because she opened the doors and gave me the pathway to move forward. And, Google University is a huge part of it too. When you don't understand something, Google it, right? But, yeah, she was right in that podcast that designers, they're busy years, a year ahead at the minimum. They got stuff to produce for next year's runs. And if you don't speak their language, if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, it's kind of like a kid trying to get a job on a tugboat that doesn't know the bow from the stern, and I mean, to tell you, they will not give you the time of day. So yeah, we had to go to work and we had to do some serious researching and Googling and trying and failing and just, hitting dead ends and just not taking no for an answer and keeping on grinding until we got some headway on and started moving forward, which is climbing mountains and then grinding through the valleys. Once you crest and drop, it's nonstop. So yeah, it's a journey, let me tell you what. And being a mariner, understanding the weather, everything about the weather, we live and breathe by it. It's not much different from hunting. You live by the weather there too. Yeah, you don't skimp on gear. You buy gear that works. You don't piss money away. Gear costs money, so buy once, cry once, and get it right. If you're filling your sea bag to go to Alaska, yeah, that trip may be only 2 months long, temporary from that perspective, but you damn well better have some gear that's going to last those 2 months, or you're going to be one miserable son of a bitch. And endurance management is what it's all about in both hunting and towboating. So it translated to figuring it out and moving forward and getting here. And we still got a long ways to go.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, again, entrepreneurship, it's a whole nother level. And it is that work ethic that was ingrained in you from the very get-go, is like holding on to that mindset and holding on to those, like, that ethos and those morals of like, I'm going to push, I'm going to earn this, I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to do it. Like, not stopping. A lot of people run into roadblocks and they're like, oh no, this is hard. Things get hard and they immediately kind of check out and that's it. But y'all just like have kept pushing. What was it like, figuring out production for the gear? Like, well, how'd that look?
Well, that was heartbreaking and exciting all at the same time because production, I knew I didn't want to do it overseas, especially after reading Phil Knight's book, Shoe Dog. A good mentor gave me that book and says, yeah, read this. You're going to love it. That's you. So I knew I didn't want to go overseas. So started calling and bugging, cold calling and talking to people. And we did this job with my school ship. We helped these three scientists, and one of them is the head director of art and design at Nike. And they designed this wave generator that we lowered to the seafloor there off our ship, rigged it and dropped it and did its thing, and it tested perfect. It powered Camp Riley, a nearby military base. for its, whatever accepted timeline. It proved its point, so we recovered it. And good old fashioned networking, right? So Mike Morrow from Nike, he hooked me up with this materials show, invited me to it, and I went and I started getting, or right in people's face, not in a bad way, but asking the questions, not being afraid, not being respectful, but asking them clear cut questions, knowing exactly what I wanted, knowing exactly what I needed, and they understood. And if they couldn't help me, they passed me on to somebody else. So I just continually gained by asking, seeking. It's just like hunting, right? Hunting a big bull. So just absolutely grinding to get to where we needed to be. But that seemed to be going to that show seemed to be the what do you call it, where you break the glass ceiling, or I don't know how you want to put it, forgive me, but yeah, and then COVID hit. And boy, once we found a production partner, and they were USIA in St. Helens, Oregon, um, yeah, COVID hit and shut the whole world down, and production was just impossible. So that's one of those heartbreaking moments. And they had to pivot and to stay alive themselves and make all the Portland area hospitals PPE, as did numerous other factories here. And just didn't give up. Kept staying with them, kept focusing on other elements of moving this forward, and continually grinding. And once COVID lifted, if you want to call it that, yeah, we had another opportunity to get into production again. So just charging hell with a bucket of water and never stopping. That's all for the love of hunting and all for helping others. That's what it's all about.
Dude, that's unreal. So you really started pushing the company in what year? In 2017?
We were officially established in 2018. I guess that my business
Okay.
advisor told me that's when you buy and pay for and register for your business license, and all that stuff. Yeah. So just started grinding with like merch, hats, and hoodies, and just to build a little brand awareness, get the name out there, build a little working capital, to bootstrap this business, and keep moving forward. Materials are not cheap, nor is American manufacturing.
No, it's not. And dude, I am blown away that y'all started in 2018. And then before you even turn 3 years old, you're going into a world changing event that ceased all manufacturing. So I owned a hot sauce company, and the pandemic was a great way for me to say, you know what, this isn't making money, it's not losing money, but we're not going to grow any further than what we already have unless we have more. And I was like, you know what, this is a great time to stop. So I kind of like got out of the small manufacturing business at the pandemic, and you're just like hard charging into it, like, you know what, hey, I'm gonna pin my ears back and I am gonna go, dude. Like that's something else to not only go headstrong into that, not get knocked down enough to where you're like, you know what, this isn't gonna work, but to continue pushing through to the point you are today. You said you keep mentioning mentors. How important have mentors been for you in this process? It sounds like they've been pretty influential.
Very much so, because it's unknown territory, and I simulate it to my students that I instruct. That couldn't pour piss out of a boot with instructions on the heel on a boat. So they need my help and guidance, and got to be level headed, cool headed, not frustrated, and help them. So these people, my mentors, kind of I feel like one of my students, actually. And you go into it with an open heart, open mind, and be a sponge and soak up everything you can and learn. And I'm not going to BS you, this tech savvy stuff, not my forte. I hell with electronics in the woods. I could care less about electronics. So they say you wear all hats, you're the head cook, bottle washer, all that type stuff, until you grow and scale and you can hire and put together a team, and you hire the people to do things that are that are better at that than you are. And I look so forward to that day, especially the technical side of things. But just honestly never giving up. And the big man upstairs, I'm not a preacher, but I give him all the glory, and there's no way in hell I'd be here without him. So
That's awesome. I got sober in 2007.
congrats.
Um,
That's
and
awesome.
like in business, like I've used some of the 12-step programming that I've gotten over the last 17 years. Like I've used that in business and life, and mentors have been a huge part of both ends of that for me. Like today, I think that it's so important to have the courage and the vulnerability, because it's hard to go ask for help,
Yeah.
especially as a grown ass man, right?
Yeah.
Because we're so trained that, oh, you shouldn't need help. You're a man, like you don't need help. Like you should know everything, and if you don't, and but there are parts of this world that I do not understand. So hearing someone else say, I use these mentors and I went into it with an open heart and an open mind, and that's helped you to continue to be successful. Like, man, for those that are listening, they take that, listen to that, hear that part of that story is be open. The other thing that you said that I love is you were going to the show and you were just asking questions, and you were asking the questions. You knew what questions you wanted to ask, and you knew what kind of answer you were looking for. And if someone couldn't give that to you, you asked, where could I, find the next one? What was it like for you developing the courage to go ask those questions to strangers? Because I think people struggle with that. Like, what was it like for you?
That first one's always hard, right? But I remember Torrey. They before I decided on American, there they are, and I got to walk up in front of them. It's kind of like asking the most beautiful girl you've ever seen in your life out, in your single days, and getting that courage up, and just going and doing it. Use the Nike motto: just do it, right? Step out of your comfort zone and take a leap of faith. So had that notepad, knew those three questions. In case I fumbled, I could refer to that little notepad, and I just went straight in there and talked to them. And then it becomes the issue of money. And they had a little higher price point than this little guy could afford back then. But I gained something. I gained knowledge, and I knew that just wasn't the path. So it's always a question answered, basically. Okay, yeah, I can't go this route. I'm going to have to go somewhere else, and just continually trying to get to where you need to be and finding that right path. It's it's all part of the journey, and I just I just wasn't willing to give up, and knew exactly what I wanted, and yeah, I just my faith propels that 12-step program, like you said. Not learning not to put the cart before the horse, and take it life one day at a time, so you actually get to enjoy it and reflect and remember what the hell you learned that day. So there's a lot to it, but yeah, just never take a no for an answer, and if that ain't gonna work, find another way. That's what I learned a lot from those mentors as well.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. And I, I think that these are these stories, your story is the reason why I started doing what I'm doing here, is like being able to share that experience and the hope and the courage for other people to get out there and do this is huge. Now, you're in it, you're building the company. How have things been? Like, I mean, has it been going pretty smooth now that we've kind of gotten out of the pandemic world into the next level? Are you growing? How's that been for you?
That's the trickiest component. I mean, you build a great product, but the marketing piece, I bootstrapping this. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions the way people market nowadays. It's very competitive, and I yeah, I don't have that kind of budget. Growing, it's we show season is great. We had a great show season, but that's already over. Look forward to doing other shows. But we have an online store. I do better, honestly, in person, with local folks, and than I do, and we, online. And there's a lot of blood in the water too. Everyone and their brother has hats and hoodies and merch. So not every how many people don't want a hat like they used to. I mean, I'm not selling the merch I did, so sales are pretty slow right now. It's a little scary, but thank God I don't have 1,000 units sitting on a shelf, in inventory where I'm gonna lose my ass. I mean, yeah, we got to sell to stay alive. Yeah, it's high end and the most expensive rain gear you can buy on the market. I didn't plan it that way. No, I'm not getting rich off this. I've done it to build a superior product and help people and, provide a better product. It's a little scary right now. We're doing an in-store at M&N Workwear Gun and Booth this Saturday. And, knock on wood, we usually do pretty good at that little in-store. And I'll give show prices and deals and discounts at those types of events. There's a big cruise ship in that weekend. This coming Saturday, the 26th, and then there's also the Wine and Seafood Fest, which is a big draw. So there'll be a lot of people in town, and we see a lot of people that didn't buy at those sportsman shows, but it's rolling around their brain and they want it. They're planning on buying it, and then boom, all of a sudden, yeah. I'd like to purchase it. Can I meet you somewhere? Hell yeah, I'm happy to deliver. I'll drive to Portland to hand you your gear. So yeah, it's a little scary right now. We've working not well, tried getting into one of the biggest and best stores in Alaska. Not trying to go the wholesale route, but want that marketing capability. If it's in a store, even if I have to sell it for a wholesale price, and people see it there, that is marketing in itself. And just we couldn't we couldn't meet in the middle. There was no way in hell with the margins. I mean, this is expensive gear. I mean, it cost me a lot to build, and I can't give it away. Originally, I planned on selling it for the same price point as sit Kikuyu on the market, but there's no way in hell I could touch that. I mean, I build it for what they sell it, and above, and I've got to be sustainable. I've got to gotta make some profit so I can grow. So it's kind of the trickiest part right now. We launched September 9th, 2023, soft launch, that is, with the website and whatnot. And we've sold some gear, but we're nowhere near our projections or where we should be due to the Biden economy and how people are being conservative, freaking out about these tariffs and whatnot. And yeah, it's a challenging time, but by God, when you're sick of pissing money away on Chinese-made rain gear, buy American and stay dry. And I'll put it against anybody's, Andrew. I mean to tell you, at those shows, I put my beat to hell set right next to a brand new set, and people can't really tell the difference. It's no worse for wear because it looks brand new still. It's a very durable fabric. And we chose well. I'm tickled pink with it, and I love staying bone dry. I mean, you got to layer appropriately. With the up and down swings of the temperatures, it can be mild to bone chill and cold. So if you overlayer, you're going to sweat if you're moving, and you gotta figure that out. And everyone's different, but we got it right, and we can only get better from here. I look forward to it, and I look forward to the growth in offering other products. I mean, I got a full line plan, and need to get that done, but without sales, I can't grow, and we're not a real bankable business right now. It's hard. Uh, can't just go get a loan, and so we truly do need some sales. So I hope we can get there. I'm working my ass off, trying my ass off, minus the marketing side. I just don't have the budget for that. So we got to focus on let the product speak for itself.
No, well, your product is stand up, and I can't wait to get my hands on a set. When I get back from Idaho here in July, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to have lunch with you, and we're gonna get squared away, because I am not going to go another rainy season hunting in Idaho, Washington, and Oregon, getting soaked in the. I won't name the company that I have currently, but they are not they were my favorite, but man, the gear does not hold up, and I get wet. And there is nothing worse than, well, there are things that are worse, but being wet in the woods when you're on a stock, or when you're glassing, or when you're away from camp and you don't have like a change of socks or new gloves, there's nothing worse than being wet out there on the mountains. I hate it. It's the one thing that just like, well, it's the only time I ever get mad in the woods is when I'm wet. I hate it. So I look forward to getting some good stuff this year. This is awesome. So do you guys get busier when hunting season comes around? Like all of a sudden everybody that saw you at the show is like, oh, dang it. You know what? We need to get some stuff going. Like I need to order this right now. Like, so I mean, you obviously have an inventory, but does it all of a sudden like, oh damn, like August, everybody's like, oh, we need to get this, and it all disappears?
Yeah, we found that. I mean, I felt like a kid on Christmas there last hunting season. People just like you said were at the shows, and yeah, I saw you, and I'm local here, and I'm never getting wet again. I'm buying your gear. I should have bought it then, and yeah, that was neat. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. This is just phenomenal. It's just a dream come true, and made it feel legit. So yeah, we get a nice flurry of that. And yeah, during the hot sunny months, it's pretty typical, and not to sell rain gear, except for the true guys going north to Alaska, that have invested in an expensive hunt, and they're going to need good quality gear up there. They're not afraid to buy in those hot summer months. You're familiar with the Buoy 10 fishery. We have products planned, geared around that fishery, because I've got asked for bibs a lot. Though in the very beginning, I made sure to check with hunters and gather all the input I could, and nobody wanted bibs back then. But, we got these guys running these little 6-pack boats, and they want bibs, so we're going to build them some. And again, we need grow through sales to develop and build those products. And I'm lucky to have such an awesome production partner that we can get it right within 1 to 2 prototypes, where a lot of outfits, they want to do a series of 5 prototypes, which is very expensive. And we get it right within 1. That's the beauty of the product. You pull it out of the box or bag, and you see what you get. You got quality right there. There's no instructions to how do I use this. You slap it on and you go, and then you see and feel the difference. And yeah, I love hearing customers saying how much of a difference it made, and how much it's changed their enjoyment of the outdoors, being out there, when it's raining sideways. It's just, or walking through that brush that's just laden with moisture anyway. It's just, God, it just feels good. The proof's in the pudding, and we really did something there. And, I look forward to more of that. So hopefully, yeah, this next coming hunting season, people will feel the same way.
Well, I got to introduce you to my guys out in Maine, and then the guys in Kentucky too, because
Please.
as much as I love to think that Oregon has a really unique, well, we really do. So the Oregon coast is a very different than other places,
Yeah.
but like Maine and like Massachusetts and Virginia into Kentucky, like Pennsylvania, they've got that thick brush too, that just like the morning dew sticks to. And like even on a dry day in the middle of September in Oregon, if you're walking through the woods, if you don't have gaiters on, your socks are toast. Like that's just, the dew just sticks, right? Like they have that same thing. Like I went to basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and I've never been wetter in the middle of July than I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky, doing land nav. Like, and it's dry. I'm like, where is this water coming from? Like, why are my feet wet? Like, it was unlike anything else. So, I'm gonna have to connect you with those guys, because I think that would be a good group of guys to be in with too.
I would love it. Please and thank you. Yeah, the more the merrier, and every penny counts. Yeah.
Heck yeah. No, I love this. And I again, like being American made I think that we're at the precipice of getting back to manufacturing in America. And I think that it's going to be really uncomfortable for a lot of folks right now. And, powering through and staying the course and sticking back to what really does work and making something that's of quality, that's amazing. Like I'm confident this is going to continue to grow.
Thank you.
So let's talk hunting. Like I want to hear a hunting story. Like what is the number one hunting story that you have that just really is always fresh in your mind, is the one that you're chasing? Like what is your story?
Gosh, there's so many, and they're just coming through my brain about a million miles an hour. That just to pick any one, wow, I mean, I'm not on the cover of Eastman's Hunting Journal. I don't kill animals every year by choice. I'm an opportunity hunter. I'm looking for that big buck or that big bull, and I got to eat tags, and I'm not afraid to do it or too proud to do it either. But hunts where yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you got me there. That was a curveball. I mean, they mean so much because just stepping into that territory, I'm the last person there that was there last year. It's been that long, and so just a flood of memories. So every hunt is meaningful. It's hard just to pick just one. And I've killed rag bulls, decent bucks, but nothing magnificent. Because they're the prey that we hunt are a little more challenging than the others. I don't care what anyone says, but that's the truth. Anyone who questions that, come on out and make a hunt with me. Love to have you. But just God, hunting with my dad. My very first one that sticks to my brain is just got the Red Ryder BB gun at age 7. Lived right near the Napa Swenson Gun Club. Hung some clay pigeons on an old growth first stump. Dead-eyed it, impressed the hell out of him. And what really impressed him was that I knew how to handle that gun well and safe. So I proved to him there that day that, and he'd hand me his rifle to hold while he gutted a deer or whatnot in the past, but I really proved that I could handle that firearm safely and shoot well. And he bought us 30-30s when we were born, and pulled that old Marlin 336 lever action 30-30 out of the box. And you're going hunting with me this year, boy. So hiking up above the gun club, and going to a clear cut there, and having helped archery friends pack elk out of there, I knew the territory, and been up there with Dad a lot. But he put me on this stump, and it was an evening hunt. He wore Chuck Taylors for stealth, just light, no ankle support, just, oh my God. Yeah, he had me sit on that stump, and he left me there, and skirted the tree line down into the canyon, and came back up in the middle and around, hoping to flush a buck to me, and that's a very memorable hunt because I was scared shitless, dumb child thinking, yeah, I got a high powered rifle here, dangerous. My dad trusts me enough with this. That's okay. That's cool. I can do this. And then, the stupid childlike fear, like, God, is he coming back? Which, disrupts the hunt when you start getting into your head. And, just being a dumb child, not knowing, but, he came back, and he ended up killing a fork and horn and hiked her out of that canyon over his shoulders. And we hiked on home after right there at dark. That was a very memorable hunt. And then hunting with my twin brother, Gary, same thing, 30-30s, hunting the old Meehan main line for elk, dropping us off, going up top and coming in a different skid road he would, and we'd hunt towards him. And that's kind of where I started with naming the company. He said right there in the dark, all right, boys, just remember, we're not hunting herds, we're hunting lone bulls. So Lone Bull was the original name of my company, and then that was taken and used. So yeah, that hunt there, going through there and just meeting Dad and doing everything right, and having opportunities, and killing elk with him and my brother just in my teen years in the beginning of the elk hunting career. That just That was just, I'll never forget it. I dream about that day still. It takes me back, and hiking those same grounds. I can remember it just like it was yesterday. It was just like they're still there, and we're on that same hunt. So just th- that that's what I got for you, man. That's what I
I
got.
I love it. That those are great hunting stories. That is uh that's what it's all about, right? Is like just being in the woods, having that experience, and to have all that and continue to do it. I think that elk hunting, blacktail hunting, really, I think there's a real misconception about how it really goes down out here. Like, I think people really think that you're an elk hunter, you're a deer hunter. Oh, you just go out there and you just shoot the damn thing and that's it. Like, I don't think that people really understand how much work goes into hunting on the coast. Like, I mean, it's insane. So I was bear hunting this past
Yeah.
weekend in Southern Oregon, and if anybody's listening, don't just trust the computer. Don't get on Onyx. Don't get on Go Hunt. Don't do your e-scouting and think that you know a spot. Like, if you don't put boots on the ground, you don't know nothing about nothing nowhere, and that's the truth. You know what looked like some really good open areas, some really good glassing knobs, and decent elevation. I was like, all right, cool. This is going to be really fun. We got down there and I couldn't believe the terrain. It was steep, it was deep, and it was just like 5.5 foot to 6 foot manzanita bushes and trees all over the hillsides. And so there was very little open grass to look at. There was very little like open area to look at all. So we set up camp and we found the one spot that you could kind of like glass up at, and I ranged it at 1,875 yards.
Holy smokes.
And now I've walked my 6'5" out to a mile. Like I can hit a steel plate at a mile after 6 or 7 rounds, but like I'm not going to shoot a
Yeah.
bear.
No. No.
And so we're kind of watching this side of the mountain, and sure enough, about 7:30 at night, just about an hour before sundown, here comes these two bears out into the open, just like eating grass, and I'm like, all right, we know where they're at. We watched them all, until till we couldn't watch them anymore. We put them to bed. Like, all right, we're gonna wake up in the morning and we're gonna go over there and we're gonna climb this mountain. We're gonna put a 200-yard shot right across this draw, and we're good to go. Well, we wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and we are soaking wet in our tent because it was clear we went to bed. It's clear we went to bed. Didn't put the rain fly on or nothing. We're in our canvas, bed rolls. And sure enough, if there's not just, pea soup fog, well, I guess we're not gonna go glass up anything today now. So, we made the best of it and we went and did some exploring through the area. But, hunting the Oregon coast is a different world. You might think you know what you're getting into, but everything changes every single step of the way.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier, is like the thing that matters most is the wind.
Yeah.
But I think that, building those stories, like I have this story with me and my buddy Vos now, is that we went down there to go bear hunting. We saw a bear, but we got fogged out for 3 days. So, we had a plan, we executed kind of, and I think that that's what's so fun about hunting is like, there's always a story, and I've yet to kill a Roosevelt elk. I'm 7 years into really hunting, like hunting hard. I'm primarily a solo hunter. I have a hard time finding people that have time to go out when I have time to go out. And it's like we were talking about earlier, it's like the whole goal is to be able to work to a point where I can take September off.
Yeah.
So I look forward to it every year. It's like, I look forward to hunting seasons, and Roosevelt elk, again, it's a different beast. People think that this is like some easy game, they don't realize how thick the woods are. They don't understand how intelligent these animals are and how the conditions change second by second,
Yeah.
and like you were saying earlier, it's like building a piece of gear that's going to protect you from weather as well as be quiet. And I think that that's a huge piece of what you guys are doing too, is like, you're building something that's going to keep me dry and keep me quiet. Like, those two things don't typically go together in the
Yeah,
hunting arena, right? Like,
right. I mean, there's no way in hell we can compete with fleece or wool jackets, but the stuff, the fabric is quiet, and even the ballistic waterproof nylon and the high wear areas, the protection panels, they're just like anything, when brand new, it seems a little stiff, but once you wear it and break it in, yeah, it gets quieter and it works well. And I mean, when you're standing 10 yards away from a wily black-tailed buck there in the thick shit, yeah, it rubbing against a spruce, it's quiet. So, and you need to learn how to move too, so, but yeah, that, Onyx don't tell you, or maybe I'm a dumb shit, but it don't tell you what the wind's doing in that specific canyon, does it? So all those finger ridges, all that, how it swirls and it's coming out of this main direction. But yeah, it changes, and yeah, you're gonna have to make a different approach, or the stock's blown, or yeah, that wind will get you every time. But getting in there, boots on the ground, I agree with you. Exploring it, and that's your takeaway. You learned that country, and now you know how to hunt it better, right?
yeah, and I've still got the spring bear tag, so I might squeeze away a couple more days before the season. And nonetheless, like, my favorite part of going to Southern Oregon is getting down to Highway 138, and you like get to Drain or Elkton there, and they've got the elk viewing area.
Oh yeah.
And so I always, like, my favorite thing is to just stop in there, and hopefully there's no one else there. And this time there was no one else there, so I practiced my calling, because
Cool.
like, there is no better opportunity that I'm going to have to practice my cow calls, my calf calls, than with like real elk.
Yeah.
And there's nothing cooler than having those elk talk back to me. Like,
Wow.
that's, to me, like, that's what elk hunting for me, like, really drives me, is talking to the elk. Is I could care less about harvesting. Like, it's great to harvest. I really, I love elk meat. It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's tasty. But just like knowing that I'm communicating with a wild animal, it it just hits something inside me that is untouchable.
Money
It's
can't buy
unreal.
that. You know.
No, no,
That's
it's like turkey hunting's the same way. You get those gobblers gobbling, and it's just so exciting to me.
I, I've done it once, unsuccessful. The hardest part was finding land to hunt on. Private, but I hear it's just as challenging as archery hunting for elk. When they're call shy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the internet makes it look easy.
Yeah.
Instagram, it's every hunter that I see on Instagram is posting their turkey pictures and their bear pictures. And I'm like, "What, man, like, I was out, like, I'm out there. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
You know, but it's not, it's just, it's hard, and it's about work. You got to put in work for it,
Yes,
you
you
know?
do, and you can do things perfect, and you think it's going to go that way again the next time, and it doesn't even come close. Hunting humbles you. It's real. You can't fake it till you make it, and it's the real deal. And hell, it's the only thing that makes sense in this crazy world nowadays, isn't it?
It's the only place it really is the only place that is constant, is the woods.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there that's going to argue with me or tell me that I'm wrong or that I'm different. Like, the woods are a special place. And
Couldn't agree more.
we're fortunate to have it. It's I think that sometimes we take it for granted, but
Yeah.
uh,
Have you ever read that book, The Bear Smacker by Tom Brown?
no, I have not read that book.
I read it years ago on a ship on a job. Bosun passed it to me there, and I read it there off watch. And God, neat, and it really teaches a guy how to track. So you got to be a damn good tracker. I don't care what game you're hunting or what season you hunt. Archery season when it's hot and sunny, or rainy November for elk with a rifle, you better damn well know how to track an animal in this thick stuff. So that book, gives you a great idea on how to do it. And that guy, he was called the Bear Smacker because he, such a damn good tracker, he'd smack a bear on the ass. So I never been much of a caller. I tried the hoochie mama and blew out the canyon with one squeeze of the button there, and so threw that call away. And don't really need to call during November anyway. But But one thing, with those animal, that feeling to connect with what you just said about calling them and talking to them. I came through Whiskey Canyon and up this finger ridge there through the salmon berry there and walked right into a herd of elk. And there's this old cow on the tail end moving slowly there, dragging and feeding, loving what she's eating. And hell, I'm going to try it. And walked right up and smacked her on the ass, just like Tom Brown did with Bear, and let me recommend, don't ever do that. That old gal, she hunched up like a mule and kicked and ran about 10 feet and stopped to look at me and like, where in the hell did you come from? Hell, I'm lucky she didn't kick me. They wouldn't have found my body for days, but, just getting that close with animals and trying to learn about them and understand them and just react with them, it's just amazing, that's why we say hunting is life. It is. It really means something, take it with me and think about it every day. It's just, yeah, I can't wait to get out in the woods again.
I know. I'm just like, every time I talk about hunting, every time I think about hunting, it just makes me want to get out there more and more. You are the person that I want people to think about when they think about what a hunter is, because what you just said is right there. Like that is the heart of hunting. It's respecting the animals, it's loving them, it's seeing them and understanding what our place in the woods really is.
Yeah.
There's, you talk about stereotypes, because everybody thinks of the stereotypes as like hunters are a bunch of rednecks. They're out there just shooting up everything,
Yeah.
but we're not. Like we are some sophisticated people, and we give a lot to the woods. We give a lot to these animals, and when we're lucky enough to harvest, and we also respect them.
Amen to that.
I was lucky enough to go on a cow elk hunt this year over in Idaho, and the guys that I was hunting with, they had never eaten elk heart.
Wow.
They'd never eaten heart, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Like, you haven't eaten elk heart? Like, that's my favorite. Like, this is the best part of the hunt. It's like we get elk tartare, we get elk heart tartare, and then we're also going to grill some, because I know you guys are a little bit nervous, but you eat the whole animal, and that's what I do.
Cool.
Bring it home, and I make stock with the bones, and I've got I made the mistake this year of cutting shanks. Instead of just taking the meat off the bones and like cutting them into like ossobuco, I kept the whole shank, and now I've got these giant elk shanks that I'm going to have to braise in some sort of fashion. Actually, you know what I ought to do? I ought to smoke them. Yeah. That'd be good. That's a good segue. Hey, what's your favorite way to cook elk? Like, what's your favorite preparation?
Gosh, I have a hell of a time boiling water. Thank God my wife's a chef, but I'm the dishwasher. But breakfast is pretty hard to screw up, and I like pan frying fresh backstrap or tenderloin. That's always just the first thing I eat, no matter what. And butter, salt, and pepper, and a little Johnny seasoned salt. It says it's pure magic on the bottle, and yeah, simple. That's my favorite way to do it. And mashed potatoes is pretty hard to screw up for a guy like me too. So yeah, simple, but boy, it sure fills a gullet, and it is damn good. So I'm not going to impress any ladies, but by God, it's damn good. That's my favorite way to do it.
Well, you would impress Christina. Christina she would love that. Like, that is her prime, like perfectly, like not overly overdone. It's very simple. It's protein, it's starch, it's carbohydrates, it's some fats in there. That's a great breakfast. In fact, I'm gonna pull some backstrap out of the freezer tonight, and I'm gonna do that. I think pan fried. Like, yeah, I should do that. I'm coming down to the end of it. I've given away a lot of elk this year because I got so excited. Like, I just want to share it with everybody.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, man. Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh shoot, I'm getting low because I didn't shoot a deer this year. It's the first year I haven't harvested blacktail.
Wow.
The first day of the season, I get out there and I saw this little blacktail, and he, little button buck, and I had him at like 5 yards, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to see plenty. I didn't see another deer the rest of the season. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. Like, I passed on that guy. Come on, man, just give me something. So I'm like, oh.
Well, good for you. I would have done the same thing, but Yeah, it's all about that hunt, looking for the one you're looking for. It's kind of like finding a wife, right? You meet your wife. I don't know. You just don't shoot anything. It's ethics and it's conservation unto itself. Most people don't understand. God, I had a slimmer deer year too for me this year. I think this shooting those spikes has hurt our population a bit. And the weather, has been a little bit more mild than usual too. These past 2 seasons with the weather trends, and I only saw one shooter, and God, I did a still hunt in this gorgeous little pocket down in this mountain draw there, and I mean it's a perfect pocket. It's a meadow, and it looks. I call it heaven. It looks like it. It's to me, and still hunt prime rut, nothing. Put some time in, so getting antsy, and I'm gonna have to go dive into that creek bottom and work that creek bottom there, and work that till dark, pop up out, and come see if we can't scratch up something, and hell, I'm driving to that next hunt, and out of this hole comes this pig of a big blacktail 3-point, just a pig, just swollen neck like a rain barrel, and he crosses the road, and I mean it's dumping rain hard. And he stands up on the bank across that road, just looking at me dumber than a post. And you know, nicest buck I saw last year, but I let him walk. I go, thank you, sir. That's your lucky day there, and I let him walk. That road hunting. No disrespect. That's how people feel their freezers, and families do it, and I have nothing against it. But to me, that's just not me. I got to earn it, and. Yeah, he was a nice buck, but looking forward to this blacktail season. We're, hiking around, checking cams, looking for bones, or shed hunting rather. Just seeing a lot of deer, seeing the deer population up this year. I'm happy
Oh, good.
happy to report that and see that because it's been
Heck yeah.
pretty bleak these past couple of years.
Man, it's been rough, and I love talking about like passing on stuff. Like this guy behind me is, I'm not much for like trophy hunting. He was my first Oregon blacktail,
Cool.
and I had passed a little fork about an hour and a half before that. And I was kind of bummed out at the day. And I was like, oh man, I really should have been ready. I should have taken that fork. And this guy, just an old beat up buck, just comes walking down the trail. I'm like, all right, we've got it. But yeah, that's good to hear the deer population is back. Like, I hunt a little bit. I hunt the south part of the unit that you hunt, and it's been weird to see kind of the fluctuations
Hmm.
of deer. Like last year, I hunted mostly in the Trask. I was
Okay.
down in the Trask, and I like to get out there because it's a little bit harder for people to hunt. And like you were saying, there are a lot of road hunters in Oregon because it's easy.
Yeah.
And so I try to get away from that, and like the
But
Trask kind of gives me that opportunity to like just jump off the side of the cliff and go get deep and get where the animals are.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I saw a lot of deer last year. I'm actually, usually what I try to do is draw this northwest bear tag so I can be out in the woods out here and kind of, add in some scouting, see where things are. But
Hell
now
yeah.
you guys are out there shed hunting. I've never in 17 years of living in Oregon, I've been mushroom foraging for those 17 years. Like every fall, every spring, I'm a mushroom forager. I have never once found a shed
Wow.
in Oregon. Never once.
Wow.
And I guarantee I've walked over the top of them. But it
Yeah.
is like trying to find sheds on the coast. It's a tough deal. Like, what do you have is there a trick out there? Like, is there a trick that I should know about, like with finding sheds? Like,
Track. Stay on track. Find the freshest and find the age about when they are dropping. My grandpa taught me them big bucks will drop, blacktail that is, will drop in at the end of December. Into January. So yeah, he had a horn pile you wouldn't believe. Uh, Craig Boatman from Bend would have loved those antlers. Let me tell you what. Nice blacktails, and they're all white and chalk from just sitting in that old horn garden. But yeah, he'd pick them up on the property and whatnot. And elk, big bulls drop in March, and spikes hell there at the end of May, basically. But I'm sure every geography is different. I don't believe in this south side slope, whatever. You find them where they drop them, and I track. That's the only freaking advice I can give. I find elk track that looks good. Yeah, this sign's about of the age of when they started dropping. So yeah, we'll track, and then that helps you learn to and stay fresh in tracking anyway. It's good practice. Practice makes perfect. So you stumble on them, and look around, slow down. Shit, I've never glassed up a shed in my life, not even in clear cuts. I don't know how people do that, but we got this guy around here, Eli Skipper. That guy is the shed king around here, man. He uses dogs, and I'm gonna have to say that would be the secret. That'd be the best way to do it in this thick jungle. Yeah, I mean, you got to stumble right onto him, step on him sometimes, and truthfully, that's the only way I find them.
Right.
Holy shit, there's a shed right there, by God. So it's fun, and it's good exercise. It's free and good health for you.
I love that. It's good exercise and it's free. I tell you what, this has been absolutely amazing, Gunnar. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to follow back up, and we're going to come back around here in 6 or 8 months. We'll reconnect after hunting season, because I want to know how your season goes. We'll reconnect. We're going to do this again. And then we'll get back on here. Where can people find you? Where can we go? What kind of presence do you have online?
Well, I'm the Ghost Bull on Instagram, and the Ghost Bull on Facebook there. Those are my two social media platforms that I use. What's that other one called now? I can't even remember what it's called. It's off Instagram, but
you mean both.
Nonetheless, those are the two main places, and you find me in the woods or at shows. We got Hoodoo coming up there for the Northwest Mountain Challenge. Looking forward to that in July.
Cool.
And just be around here the North Coast. If you ever want to make a bear stomp around here, I'm happy to hike with you and pack for you. You let me know anytime you want to delve in out here. Same with archery season, but yeah, I look forward to catching back up with you, comparing notes, and look forward to getting some rain gear on you if you're interested there. If you want to stay dry, we'll keep you dry.
Oh yeah, when I get back from Idaho, we're coming out to Astoria. I'm going to spend the weekend in Astoria. We're going to eat food, eat oysters, and we're going to get squared away. And I'm definitely, this fall, we'll go. I love chasing bear. Fall bear is one of the fun things I do, and I hunt archery elk. So, but this year's a different year. We can talk about that later.
Yeah,
Gunnar, thank you so much. I'm going to put all the links. I'm going to put a link to the website in the show notes here. It'll be online. Thank you so much, Gunnar. Ghost Bull Hunting. Check him out. And we look forward to hearing the next chapter in the story here, my man. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Andrew, so much. You have a great evening, too. Enjoy that backstrap there, too. I look forward to catching up with you. I really appreciate your time, and it was an honor being on your show. Thank you, sir. You take care.
Heck yeah.
All right. Great hunting to you.
That's it for this episode of Here From Where. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed the conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. A huge thanks to Justin Pitaleski for the music and sound production, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep moving forward. All the best, and happy cooking.